The Amish community, with its iconic horse-drawn buggies, plain dress, and rejection of modern technologies, has long captivated the curiosity of outsiders. For many, the Amish represent a throwback to a simpler, more peaceful time, a time when family, faith, and community were the core pillars of society. But behind their seemingly timeless existence lies a rich, complex, and evolving way of life that reflects both the steadfastness of their beliefs and the pragmatic adaptations they make to navigate the modern world. In this video, we delve into 12 surprising facts about Amish life that challenge the stereotypes and misconceptions that abound about their culture. From unconventional restroom practices that raise eyebrows to their gradual integration into modern industries like RV manufacturing, the Amish continue to adapt in ways that many outsiders may not realize. Through in-depth exploration, we will examine how Amish men and women navigate their world with a unique blend of tradition and practicality. The Amish may seem insular, but their culture is far from static. Over the centuries, they have balanced their commitment to simple living with the realities of the outside world. This video seeks to uncover the nuances of their way of life, offering an insightful, respectful, and detailed look into how they maintain their community and values in the 21st century. Please support us by clicking on subscribe. It is free to you and will tremendously help the channel grow. In return, I promise we will do more in-depth research on upcoming videos. Thank you so much for subscribing. One of the most unusual aspects of Amish life to outsiders is their approach to restroom practices, particularly in how Amish men pee during communal gatherings. While this may seem like an odd point of entry into the world of the Amish, it is a practice that reflects their values of simplicity, modesty, and environmental stewardship. It provides a fascinating look into how the Amish make do with what they have and find ways to maintain their traditions without compromising their values. The Amish community, particularly in the farmlands of northern Indiana, has a tradition of using barns as impromptu restrooms during social gatherings, such as church services, weddings, and other communal events. To many outsiders, this may seem both surprising and unsanitary, but for the Amish, it is a practical solution that speaks to their values of resourcefulness, simplicity, and humility. The barns, which are traditionally used to house livestock and store feed, are transformed into makeshift restrooms during these gatherings. Amish men use designated areas in the barn where sawdust is spread to absorb waste. This method of dealing with human waste is efficient and eco-friendly. The sawdust absorbs the urine, and over time, it decomposes and can be used as fertilizer for farming. This composting process is not only practical, but aligns with the Amish emphasis on sustainability and minimal waste. Although the practice may seem foreign to many, it serves several key functions in Amish society. It reduces the need for plumbing and expensive infrastructure, reflects the Amish preference for simplicity, and provides a way to handle a basic human need in a manner that fits within their religious and cultural framework. While the practice of using barns as restrooms is relatively common in certain Amish communities, particularly in northern Indiana and other more rural areas, it is not universal. Some Amish communities, especially in more progressive areas such as LaGrange and Elkhart counties, have embraced modern conveniences like indoor plumbing. In these areas, many Amish families have indoor bathrooms with running water, and the practice of using barns as restrooms has become less common. However, even in more modernized Amish communities, this tradition endures in specific social contexts. It remains a custom during communal gatherings, underscoring the Amish community's commitment to preserving long-standing traditions. For Amish people, there's a sense of practicality and self-sufficiency that comes with continuing these age-old practices, even when modern conveniences might suggest otherwise. The continued use of barns as restrooms is not just about practicality. It is a reminder of how the Amish live in harmony with the land. By using sawdust to compost waste, they are not only adhering to traditional customs, but are also participating in a closed-loop system of recycling that emphasizes sustainability. This practice helps ensure that the land remains fertile and productive, which is essential for the agricultural nature of Amish life. While many outsiders may view this practice as odd or primitive, It is an example of how the Amish continue to balance tradition with modernity. Even in communities where indoor plumbing has become more common, the Amish are cautious about adopting too many modern conveniences, particularly those that might disrupt their way of life. In the case of restroom practices, the Amish have found a way to adapt to their needs without losing touch with their cultural and religious roots. In many ways, this balancing act between tradition and modernity is emblematic of the larger challenges the Amish face. While some Amish communities are more willing to adopt certain aspects of modern life, such as electricity or cars for business purposes, they remain deeply committed to maintaining the values that have sustained them for centuries. The barn restroom tradition is just one small but significant example of how they navigate these complexities with practical ingenuity and respect for their past. Contrary to the common stereotype of the Amish as unkempt or indifferent to personal hygiene, many Amish communities actually place great importance on cleanliness and grooming, although their methods differ significantly from those of the outside world. The approach to personal hygiene is often seen through the lens of simplicity, modesty, and practicality, reflecting the Amish values of humility and community cohesion. The Amish are often portrayed as rejecting modern plumbing and hygiene practices, but the reality is more nuanced. While some Amish groups live without running water or indoor plumbing, others have embraced these modern amenities to varying degrees. In more progressive Amish communities, such as those in LaGrange and Elkhart counties, daily bathing has become the norm. With access to indoor plumbing, these Amish families can take regular showers, use soap, and brush their teeth in much the same way as non-Amish families. However, even in these more modern communities, the Amish continue to prioritize simple, unscented products in order to maintain modesty. In more conservative communities, such as the Swartzentruber Amish, bathing is generally done once a week, typically on Saturday evenings in preparation for Sunday church services. This practice reflects the Amish value of modesty and the desire to keep personal habits simple and unobtrusive. While this might seem outdated to outsiders, the Amish view it as a practical and humble approach to personal hygiene. In Amish communities without access to indoor plumbing, bathing can be a labor-intensive process. For families that still rely on wells, hand pumps, or nearby streams for water, the act of bathing becomes a communal task. A family may gather around a large tub, which is filled with water that is pumped or carried from the well and then heated on a wood stove. This process requires a great deal of cooperation and teamwork. Every member of the family may have a role, whether it's hauling the water, heating it, or washing the dishes afterwards. Though the process of bathing in these circumstances may seem primitive, it is a reflection of the Amish values of hard work, simplicity, and family cohesion. The act of preparing and sharing a bath is seen not just as a hygienic necessity, but also as an opportunity to strengthen family bonds and reinforce the sense of communal living that is at the heart of Amish life. When it comes to personal grooming, Amish women are often expected to maintain a simple yet well-kept appearance. While they adhere to strict guidelines for modesty, such as wearing plain dresses, head coverings, and minimal jewelry, Amish women do engage in various grooming practices that might surprise outsiders. These grooming habits are not about vanity, but rather about personal cleanliness and modesty. Contrary to popular belief, many Amish women do shave their legs and underarms. While this practice may not be universally accepted in all Amish communities, it is quite common in more progressive communities. Shaving is done for practical reasons, and the Amish women who do it prefer to use traditional razors or simple hair removal creams, often purchasing them from local stores. Amish women often use unscented lotions and moisturizers to care for their skin, especially in the harsh winters. These products are typically basic and functional, without any unnecessary additives or fragrances. The focus is on preserving the health of the skin, rather than pursuing beauty standards set by the wider society. While the Amish reject most modern conveniences, deodorant is widely used, particularly in more progressive communities. Again, the products chosen are usually unscented and simple, in keeping with the Amish commitment to modesty and functionality. Deodorant is seen as a practical solution to maintaining hygiene, especially in the warmer months. Amish women are expected to dress modestly, and heavy makeup is generally discouraged. However, many women do use minimal cosmetics to smooth out their complexion or enhance their appearance subtly. The use of makeup is kept to a minimum, with a focus on natural beauty rather than creating a dramatic or fashionable look. These grooming practices are indicative of how the Amish maintain a balance between their religious values of modesty and their desire for personal cleanliness and simplicity. Though they avoid the excesses of the outside world, Amish women still take steps to care for their appearance in a manner that is consistent with their beliefs. For many Amish women, pregnancy and childbirth represent deeply spiritual and communal experiences. The Amish community has evolved over time to adapt to changing medical practices, but many of their childbirth traditions remain rooted in simplicity, faith, and family-centered care. This section explores how Amish women approach pregnancy and childbirth, examining both the traditional methods and more modern adaptations that have occurred in response to the availability of medical resources. Historically, most Amish women gave birth at home with the assistance of a midwife or other female relatives. In these home birth settings, the focus was on providing a safe, comfortable environment that honored the woman's wishes and allowed for a communal experience. The Amish believe that childbirth is a natural, God-ordained process, and many prefer to avoid the medical interventions and technologies found in modern hospitals. In recent years, however, some Amish families have opted for birthing centers that are specifically designed to meet their cultural needs while providing access to trained midwives and medical professionals. These centers are a compromise between traditional home births and the hospital setting, allowing Amish women to receive medical care if necessary, while still maintaining a natural and culturally appropriate childbirth experience. The choice to give birth in a hospital is still relatively rare among the Amish, but it is becoming more common as some families recognize the potential benefits of modern medical care. In particular, Amish women who experience complications during pregnancy or childbirth may choose to deliver in a hospital setting, though they generally avoid unnecessary medical interventions. The Amish have long been known for their large families, but in recent years, family size has begun to shrink. The average Amish family today has between 5 and 6 children, a sharp decline from earlier generations where families commonly had 12 or more children. This shift is partly due to economic pressures, as larger families can be more difficult to sustain in an increasingly industrialized world. While the Amish do not use artificial contraception, they do practice natural family planning to space out pregnancies. This may include avoiding sexual intercourse during a woman's fertile period, or using other natural methods to prevent pregnancy. The Amish view this as a responsible way to manage family size while still placing trust in God's plan for their family. Despite this shift towards smaller families, the Amish still maintain that children are a gift from God, and large families are often seen as a sign of God's blessing. It is not uncommon for Amish couples to have large families, and families with 8 or 9 children are still relatively common in many communities. The Amish hold strong anti-abortion beliefs, consistent with their religious convictions that life begins at conception. The idea of ending a pregnancy is deeply controversial within the Amish community, and abortion is not seen as an option except in rare and exceptional cases. There have been instances of attempted herbal abortions in the past, particularly in more conservative Amish communities, but these actions are not condoned by religious leaders and are considered highly controversial. These rare cases are often viewed as deeply troubling and morally wrong within the Amish community. Religious leaders stress the importance of accepting God's will in all matters, including the size of one's family. The Amish firmly believe that abortion goes against the sanctity of life and undermines the trust they place in God's plan. Though the Amish maintain traditional birthing practices, they are not averse to modern healthcare when it is necessary. Many Amish families will seek medical assistance when faced with serious health issues, particularly when it comes to childbirth complications or the treatment of serious illnesses. However, the Amish are generally cautious about relying on modern medicine and prefer to turn to natural remedies or consult with community midwives when possible. Amish communities are increasingly utilizing the services of doctors and hospitals when they feel that a medical condition requires advanced treatment. However, even in these cases, the Amish seek to minimize their reliance on mainstream medical practices and avoid any unnecessary interventions. The Amish community is far more than just a group of people who reject modern technology. They are a resilient, resourceful, and deeply committed people who continue to adapt to the changing world around them, while staying rooted in their faith and values. Their approach to everyday life, from the way they handle restroom practices to their attitudes toward hygiene, family, and healthcare, offers valuable lessons in simplicity, sustainability, and community. By examining the many layers of Amish life, we can gain a deeper understanding of the complex interplay between tradition and modernity. The Amish may seem out of step with the world, but in reality they are living examples of how to navigate the challenges of the modern age without sacrificing the things that truly matter: faith, family, and community. This information has shed light on some of the lesser-known aspects of Amish life, challenging misconceptions and offering a more nuanced perspective. As we continue to live in an increasingly complex world, the Amish remind us that it is possible to live with integrity, simplicity, and purpose, even in the face of overwhelming change. If you've liked this content, please subscribe and hit the like button. This tremendously helps, and click to watch our next video on the Philippines.